Today we're going to talk about transformations of functions. We're going to recognize graphs of common functions. We're going to talk about the shifts and the reflections. We're not going to do too much today with stretching and shrinking. So here we go. So here we're going to show you some basic graphs that you need to know from memory and be able to recognize them when you see them. This first one is a linear function. We read graphs like we read books from left to right, so this is going up, and it is a line. You'll probably remember this as y equals mx plus b. Okay, so you got to recognize the linear function. This is a quadratic function. Quadratic functions, the highest power is a 2, and they always look like a cup. Quadratic function. This is a square root function. The inverse of a square function. So if you look at it, it sort of looks like a parabola, and if we extended it the other way, it would be a parabola on its side. This is a square root function. Here we have the absolute value function. The absolute value function, if you look at it from the left, it looks like a line, and on the right, it looks like a line. However, absolute values, the values that come out of absolute value are positive, so it's on the positive side of the y-axis. This is a cube function to the third power. And so this cube function sort of looks like a quadratic. It doesn't come back down. However, it goes up. So this is a cubic function. Here's the inverse of the cube function. It's the cube root function. So we're taking the cube root of x. So instead of it looking like it's coming up, going through the origin and going back up, this one is sort of on its side. Now we're going to talk about how certain functions or operations can actually change the graphs. So we'll be able to quickly sketch certain types of functions. So first we're going to talk about the parent function, which is y equals x squared. It is the red graph, and it's right here at the origin. And now the blue graph is y equals x squared plus 3. Now what's the difference between the red parent function and the blue function? Yes, this shifted up 3 units. Let's take a look at the graph in black. What happened from the parent function to the graph in black? It went down vertically 2 units. Take a look at my function in the equation. X squared minus 2 shifts 2 down. X squared plus 3 went 3 up. Now we're going to talk about a horizontal shift. Here again in red is our parent function. Take a look in green. Move 2 units to the right. However, I have x minus 2 in here. Let's look at the blue function. You move 2 units to the left, and here I have x plus 2. That is correct. Whatever you see inside parentheses is going to go in the opposite direction for a horizontal shift. So now we're going to talk about vertical shifts, up and down, horizontal shifts, left and right. So with a horizontal shift, it doesn't go up or down. It's the vertical shift that controls up and down, and a horizontal shift that compares left and right, or makes it move left and right. In this example, here the green is the parent function. It is the absolute value function. However, we can tell if we go from the green function to the red function went over to the right a certain amount of units and it went down. So we're combining the translation. So inside parentheses or inside the absolute value, this is our horizontal shift, left and right. Well, because this is minus 6, so our brains automatically go, oh, it's going 6 to the left, but that's not so. It's going to go in the opposite direction, so that is 6 to the right. Here, outside parentheses or outside absolute value, this is our vertical shift, and it'll go up or down. In this case, it's minus 4, so it went down. So here, what we're going to do, I've written down 4 functions, and what we're going to do is we're going to describe the transformation. Let's start with number 1. This is a transformation, and it is, we would think is positive, so right one, absolutely not. It's definitely going to go in the opposite direction, and so this is going to be left 1 unit. it is also a quadratic function. Let's take a look at number 2. We see a subtraction here. We'll automatically think left, but it's going to be the opposite. So it's going to move right 5 units and down 3 units. The next one is absolute value, and it's going to go right 4 units and down 1 unit. The next one is a cubic function because we see that 3rd degree, and it is also going to go right. This is going to go right 7 units and down 2. So what we want to do is we want to practice describing the transformations and practice what type of graphs they are. Okay, the directions here is we're going to talk about what type of graph it is. So in number 1, this is a linear graph. Number 2, this is the square root graph. Number 3, this is a quadratic. We see the cup up. This one we don't have a picture, so we have to pay attention to the exponent. It is a 3rd degree, so it is a cube function. And that concludes our lesson on horizontal shifts, vertical shifts, and type of graphs. Thank you.